And I would just add for our viewers, you know, taxes were upwards of 90%. 91% was the top tax bracket that JFK brought down significantly. And as I mentioned at the start of the show, what did you see? But a 6% growth in our economy. Lower taxes equals growth. Higher taxes equals a shrinking economy. That's just the reality of these numbers. Joining me right now, former CEO of CKE Restaurants, Andy Puzder. You know, look, I can preach this forever. You can preach this forever, but you still have Chuck Schumer and company going out there saying this is nothing but a giveaway to corporations and a giveaway to the rich. How are you going to fight that from sort of a packaging standpoint, if you would, Andy, right now, when that's the tone coming out of the other side?
Well, look, the reality is we have to stop this. This isn't Europe. We're not talking about class warfare. What we do in America, we should be asking the question, what will generate the greatest economic prosperity for every American? Not who benefits or who doesn't benefit, but what generates the greatest prosperity for this country. Everybody in this country has an opportunity to improve their lives. Everybody in this country strives to do that. A tax code that prevents people from moving up should be eliminated, should be reformed. This program, the proposal by the president, will do that. It will generate growth. It will help all Americans. This argument that it's benefiting the rich is just BS. It's just not true.
Well, the one thing I would point out is that the more money you make, the more money you do pay in taxes, right? I mean, that's just the reality of it. So when you look at how this all shakes out, yeah, the top 20% actually contribute to 80% of the government's revenues. Why? Because they're the ones earning the money. You got half the country right now, Andy, that's paying no federal income tax at all. I mean, so the wealthy, yeah, they may be getting a tax cut, but they're actually the ones that are paying the tax.
Well, you're right. That's exactly why we shouldn't be focused on who's going to benefit. I think the top 1% pay about a third of all personal income tax. That's a huge amount. That's a very progressive system. But they're actually not getting, contrary to what Schumer said, they're not getting some big tax break here. Their rate may come down a little. It may not come down at all. Mm-hmm. And when you eliminate deductions, as you said, like the state income tax deduction, you actually raise the amount that they pay. They'll pay more to the federal government. So you're really, and by the way, the penalty, the encouragement to bring money back to the United States, if we switch to a territorial system, which this plan would do, you eliminate the disincentive to bring money back here. So you don't really need to keep that program that incentivizes people to bring money back in place, because once they bring back what's already overseas, they won't have an incentive to keep it overseas in the future. That's the point of going to the territorial system. Yeah, but we did
that once before, right? And President Bush tried that, and it didn't work out quite as intended, Andy. Why? A lot of people said it was because it was a one-time deal.
It was a one-time deal, but number one, we didn't switch to a territorial system after we implemented the one-time penalty. Number two, the penalty was too high, and number three, there wasn't $2.6 trillion sitting overseas. We didn't have the kind of problem we have today.
Is that the number?
Yeah, it's $2.6 trillion.
Oh,
I just read it before I got on air.
2.6. I knew it was more than 2 trillion, but you know, when you think of it creeping towards 3, it's sad. It's sad because you know what? It's working for everyone else except for us, except for the people back home that need it, that need those jobs and need that investment. Again, the middle class. Andy Puzder, thank you so much. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you, Trish.